Fantastic. Okay. Sammy, you also record, okay? Sammy, make record. Forgive us for not trusting you. I was both us. Don't take over seriously. Okay, let's start. Oh, somebody says, can someone send the link to the random channel? It is some people are waiting for the link. Um, okay, thank you for sending. Okay, okay. Oh, okay, you just told them. Okay, let's start now. Okay, hi everyone. Yeah, thank God for everyone being here. I mean, so we today is basically, the start of our technical session for this year, and we have a lot of things planned, a lot of things, we've gone through which we're going to, basically do this year. And the roadmap we have now is about 3 months. And by the end of the 3 months, God willing, we are believing God and trusting everyone here to be in very good form, very good shape, right? In terms of recruiting and everything, right? We're going to have many like 4 parts of this roadmap. We're going to have the data structures and algorithms track. We're going to have the system design track. Also we're going to have the project slash resume track, and also going to work on referrals. So that those are basically the 4 things we're going to work on. There's mock interviews and all those things, but those are like very, very optional. Like you can, I think like almost everyone whom we've worked with last year and 2 years ago, most people we before their interviews, if they're new to it, we have mock interviews with you. Even if you recruited before, I know people here whom we've done like multiple mock interviews, people from Africa, Nigeria, Ghana, whom we did a lot of mock interviews before because it helps you, keep the skills sharp. So that's what we're going to focus. We're going to focus on data structures and algorithms, um, system design, um, system design, as well as projects or keeping your resume in shape, right? And also work on referrals. I'll start from the referrals part. For the referrals, it's going to be really faster and better this year. I know last year we tried, we did the best we could, but also we had fewer people in the industry, like full time. So our referral window was mainly, pushed into the summer, right? And once the summer ended, like we had very few employees in the workforce, so we couldn't get many people in a referral. So for instance, I was like the only person in Microsoft full time. I mean, there are a couple of others, but like I was the most available person and so on. But now it's not the same. I have a couple of, we have a couple of, sorry, someone's trying to record. We have a couple of, other full timers who have joined. When you go to I go to we have more people who are full time now, actually. Well, I mean, all these places, right? At Google, at Meta, basically, like a lot of us out there in the workforce full time now. So even if you don't get a referral in the summer, you still can get it in the fall semester. Let's say you're like, hey, I think I'm ready in, let's say, in October, and I want to going for it. We are going to be able to do your referral and everything. The other thing also is that recruiting timelines have shifted forward a bit now. Like now, many companies, especially those who be recruiting for new grad or full-time roles, and even if you graduated already, recruiting has actually shifted a bit ahead now. If so many companies wrapped up earlier, the past recruiting cycle. You didn't see as many, you didn't, there were some, but like there were not so many, there were not so many recruitings in February and March, this year compared to last year. Last year, many people got their offers in like February and March, and some even April, literally some even May, right? But this year there were very few because there's a lot of people in the pool now. So the earlier you get your skills in shape, the better. New grad roles, most of them wrap up even in August, right? If you check companies like Goldman Sachs, they literally close their pipeline so early. The people I know who got in very early, right? So like you have to move sharp, you have to move fast. That's the gospel truth, right? And because of that, we are pleading, please, focus and follow us so quickly. If we give a task, please, I'm going to show you everything. If we share something, if you have a meeting, if you skip the meeting, watch the recording, like just go fast. Honestly, trust me. If you can commit even 2 to 3 hours like per week to everything we do here, we're going to be in such good shape, right? And everything we present here is proven and tested. Personally, there are things I do, personal things I went through. Those of you who don't know my background, I wasn't a computer science major. Well, I knew some programming, because during the COVID era, when the lockdown was there, I was at home. I had this Pentium 4 machine. I used to basically write some code on my own. And I did some HTML, some CSS, I did some JavaScript. So when it came to building projects, I didn't have to start completely from scratch. I could put some things together quickly. And so I knew some program, right? But I was still a pre-med, right? I was a pre-med at Cornell. I did my first year pre-med, comparative physiology, cell biology, all those things. And then I took my first computer science technical, no, typical computer science class. My second semester at Cornell was intro to computing using Python. It was amazing. It was really amazing. But that's one thing I told myself. Like, even though I started computer science relatively late, my second semester, I don't give myself the excuse of not getting an internship the next recruiting cycle. So I had to sit down, learn things on my own. I learned certain algorithms on my own. I basically use the book we use here, Common Sense Guide to DSA. That's my friend Eric. Eric is one of our leads here. Eric was Eric who sent me that book. He sent to me around 2021. He ever sent to me around 2021. I literally started reading that book like so early. I was literally in the bus going home and I was playing this. It's like, yeah, so by God, I learned like you have to, right? Don't give yourself an excuse or I switch later. I'm in Ghana. See, those of you even not living in the US, like don't have an excuse. This year, in terms of recruiting, we have people from Nigeria and Ghana going to Bloomberg Europe. We have somebody who's working at Google Ghana full time now also. And we have people who have internship wise who have moved to Europe to work at Bloomberg. We also have a full timer also at Apple, UK, and all these things, right? So don't give yourself the excuse. Yeah, the numbers may be low, but like it could be that person, right? You could live. And here's the cool thing also. Some of the people I'm talking about, even those from Africa who moved to like UK, who are in Ghana working on Google and like Bloomberg and Apple and those things. Some of them it wasn't one try. I kid you not. It was not one try. It was not like 1 year, like the first day they even knocked it out. No. Like, some, my God, it's like they started, we started working with them when they were in third or fourth year in college, right? And that's when things were relatively new. So we had to go through DSA. In Africa, the system is a bit different. People don't really focus on detection and algorithms and all these things. So you have to start from scratch, right? But I went through all these things. Some of them took like 2 years. But by God's grace, when they finally made it, it was all worth it. It was so worth it. They went through the lights out, no Wi-Fi. I know one of them, sometimes she's having she has an interview and the internet is unstable and everything, but she still pushed through, right? And by God, it all paid off. So it's very doable. It's very feasible. It's doable. It's definitely doable. Some of companies like Bloomberg come to like University of Ghana to recruit and all these things. And if your skills are in shape and you want to come, it's like it just clicks for it, right? One of the things we say here is that just do the preparation. When the opportunity comes, you just face it head on. So please, I beg you, commit yourself to it. It's like sacrifice for it. When I was prepping like 3 4 years ago, my God, I had to put many things aside. It's like I'll sit down for hours nonstop, right? Like it's worth it. Once you get it, you're like, uh, most of those of you get offers and message me. I'm like, yeah, man, just take the day off and like just relax or something. It's worth it. Put in the effort, nail it down, and on you go. Before I show you the roadmap, the other thing I also want to say is that the market is really competitive now. It's super competitive. I'm not kidding you. The market is so competitive now because there's a lot of people who are falling back into the loop. For instance, some of those who are in 2022 don't have a job, so they have poured back into 2025, 2023, 2024. I graduated last year. Some of my classmates didn't have jobs, so they've all poured back into it. So it's now it's like a whole pack, right? It's like it's so packed up. But here's a good thing: even though there's a lot of people looking for employment, not many of them are good. Trust me, it's like see, I've seen some people's profile, I've seen some people's coding thing, and it's like many people are actually not good. Good in code, right? Good by some definition of good. Like people can't really write code on their own. People can't even write code from scratch and all these people because the general computer science degree doesn't really teach you a lot of these things, right? Like some of the computer science degree I did is one of the best in the world you can get, right? But like we're not teaching you to get a job, basically. Like we're basically teaching you how to do a job and how to go to grad school, do PhD and cool research, right? But like how to do interview and all those things. Schools don't teach you these things, right? So lots of these people looking for jobs, they don't have the skills to, most of them don't have the skills to pursue jobs and get, and no, that's what we are trying to do at Tech Elevate to make up for that thing, right? So you'll be able to do competitively. We help you revise your resume, we review your resume for you and all these good things for you. So please take it seriously and on and off we go. Okay, I'm going to show you a roadmap for this year. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on the call today because the real work we begin the workshops God willing next week, which is June, right? We start in June. So you're using June, July, August to basically kill everything. If you're a new grad, I will always suggest you are at least a step ahead of us. If you're seeking new grad roles. Okay, so let me show you something very quickly. Also, I know some of you you've already like you're not new to recruiting, for sure. So can you guys see my screen? Can anyone see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, let me enlarge everything for you. Okay, I want to make everything bigger, bigger, bigger. Oh, sorry, give me a second. Okay. So my Slack is okay. Is it bigger now? Can everybody, is it clear to everyone? Is it big? Like, is it big, big, big?
Can you kind of zoom a little bit?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do right now to make it bigger. Right? It's okay. Is it bigger now?
Yeah, it's okay, it's okay.
Okay. So this is a channel we're going to use. So those of you who use laptop when you open Zoom, you see there's this is a technical 2025 um channel. This because what we're going to be using for the summer, and so the messages are here. Feel free to to send messages here related to the technical prep and everything. If you're doing a coding problem, you have a question like Emmanuel did, like just ask here. And there are going to be people here who are watching. For me right now, this is my favorite channel. I check every time. It's like, hey, you're solving a question. There was an issue. Just send a picture here. Be like, hey, I was solving this question. What was the issue? People are going to reply in the channel. We're going to share their ideas. Like, I want to see you prepping and everything. One thing I'm going to do specifically this year is when somebody's prepping, like when I'm practicing, like doing my own personal like programming. I actually, like yesterday, I was doing it. 2 days ago, I was doing it. I want to stack a Slack huddle like this. I want to just stack a Slack huddle like this. It's just like me basically I'm practicing. If you're free and anything, just join, right? Join this channel, join this call. You also be doing your own program at the end. We can sync. Come like, hey, let's do maybe neat code 150. Let's do the stack question, right? You can do it together with people, as a group, right? You'll be like, okay, let's have the first question in 5 minutes. That's something we're going to do a lot this summer. But sometimes when you're alone practicing, it can be a bit lonely or something, right? But if I call like this and somebody's around, like you can just hop in, like, okay, let's do the trees question, right? And if you get stuck, somebody will explain, like, okay, let's use 10 minutes, 15 minutes for something like that. So we're going to call it coding rooms, and we're doing a lot of it. I'll be probably even do one today or something because me myself, I'm actually, also revise my skills and all. I tried this question yesterday. It's really fried my brain. This question, but it did a good job frying my brain. What was the question again? Like, sorry, was someone saying something? Okay, there was no something, all right. So yeah, so that's what one thing we'll be doing a lot this summer. We'll be doing so let me see the question. So this was this question. Sorry, I cannot move it here. Okay, let's move on. So this is the channel we're going to use for most of our conversations. Feel free to send your messages, ask your questions. You'll be like, how do we do this? Or after we are done with the workshop, right? You have any questions, feel free to come here and be like, what was this thing we talked about? Can you say more on it, right? That's something you're going to use this channel for. Now, when you open the same channel, there are tabs here. Can you see the tabs here? If you're on the computer, there are tabs here. If you're on a phone, you have to click the heading parts and you see these tabs, right? So this is the first tab is the info tab, basically like very standard things, right? About what we're going to do. So this is just everything we're going to do. And these are goals, this and this and that, right? We'll also be learning like good coding conventions. Like those of you who have been with us, we teach us to write good code, like how to like good code for industry and all these things. These are the reasons we're going to be. We're going to use Common Sense Guide to DSA, Common Sense Guide to Data Structures and Algorithms. It's the main book we're going to use. If you've been with us for like these past 2-3 years, it's a book we've always been using, right? And it's for me, it's the best book for data structures and algorithms for 3 reasons. Number one, the language is so clear. I know the author, he's called Jay Wengro. I've even spoken with him, and I told him like his book is amazing. It's not the deepest, but it's sufficient foundation, right? And the language is so clear. It's not complicated English. And his examples, he's such an excellent teacher, right? So that is a book. We actually have the book. Right now, I'll show you the book. We have the book. The next resource we're going to use is also NeetCode.io. So we're going to basically follow NeetCode's roadmap for what do you call it? Let's open this right now. Okay, so we're going to use NeetCode.io. I'll show you the book too. Oh, we're going to use NeetCode.io to make our practice more sync. So when I show you the roadmap, we're going to do topics by topics, right? So let's say if we do, we're going to actually do NeetCode 150 first, actually NeetCode 250. So we'll be using it for our practice. So when we do, let's say, stacks this week, the assignments we give will probably be let's do all the easy questions or all the easy and medium questions, or we'll send it according to time. But what our advice is this: whatever we give here, try to go the extra mile, right? If you want to be ahead, always do the extra mile. If we tell you this week we're doing NeetCode 150, easy and medium, please try and finish every easy and medium question here. I beg you, finish every easy and medium. You can skip the hards. I don't care. Every easy and medium question in NeetCode 150 has to be completed by you before ending of August. That is the metric. Every question here. Now, if I were you, I'll probably be like mid-August, but like let's complete every question here. Now, we already talked about how to approach lead code questions. I want to talk about it again. We're watching lead code questions right now. As I said, we have 3 months. We don't have all the time in the world. If I open a question like this, valid parenthesis. Now I'm going to show you how I think you should do it. If you don't agree, it's fine. But I'm telling you again how I think you should do it. And it's proven, it's tested. That's what I do. That's what I did and all. Especially if you are starting out. Especially if you are starting out. If you open this question, you read. Can anyone hear me and see my screen? Can anyone hear me and see my screen?
Yeah, it's all good.
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, you can see, yeah, you can see your
You
screen.
open this question to do, right? You open given a string S containing this, determine if the string input is valid. Now, again, we don't have time, right? Now, read this question, understand the question. Number one, always understand the question as much as you can. Read the examples, always understand the examples as much as you can. You learn more of these as we do the workshops. Then come here, try to solve it. Solve it to the best of your abilities. Solve it, you try, it's not working. 5 to 15 minutes, it's not working everything. Please stop. Stop solving the question. Don't spend an hour on a question. I will be so sad if you do that. Do not spend an hour on a question. We don't have time. If you spend an hour on a question, someone is going to use that same hour to do 4 questions and they'll be ahead of you. But here's the thing. We're not just memorizing solutions to questions. Keep as much as you can, but definitely learning patterns, right? Learning the algorithm and all. So when I first did this question, let me show you something. Submissions. Why is there no data? Have they cleared everything?
Solutions.
Oh,
Solutions.
I think I did this in Python 3. So after solutions with AA, have they? Well, I've signed in with. Is that glitch on code or something? I'm not in the mood right good right now, to be honest. Oh, I thought my submissions would show. Oh, but I've signed in. Sorry, I think my thing expired. My login expired. Give me a second. I want to show you another thing. And please, whatever we're discussing, please take it very seriously. Okay. So if you, I said, don't sit on a problem for 1 hour. Please do not do that. People be like struggle through to brain is development. I beg, that's not how the brain develops. Do not sit on it 1 hour, only to be able to solve it also. There's a stage you do that, but we are not there yet. Okay, I'll show you that. So if you see when I first started this thing, I first got this question in 2021 or so, when my first internship with my friend's startup, and somebody gave me this question. I was trying to do while loops and for loops. I'd be like, if you see this, track this and everything. I couldn't solve it. Now, next time, 2022, when I first solved this question, then I was like, I actually learned it and everything. Then I now able to solve it. So let me see how you do it. After you have struggled and not able to solve it, it's fine. The reason I'm using Neat Code is this. There are video solutions here. Please stop it after 5 to 15 minutes. Come watch the solution. Watch it so well and understand every bit of it. When I'm watching the solution, don't make it so fast or so slow. Try to focus and pay attention. If there's code, there are 2 ways you can watch it. First, watch everything fully, or watch it after he has explained the algorithm. When he gets to the code part, pause it. Go and try to write the code yourself. If you get stuck, now come and watch his code solution. Now, every time you solve a question like this, right? Anytime you solve a question on Leet Code or wherever you do, let me show you something. The goal is not to memorize the whole code. The goal is able to summarize the solution in a couple of sentences, right? So if I take, let's say, valid parentheses, my goal becomes, so I'm going to use number 1, I'm going to use a stack, right? Because a stack is basically this question just teaching you stacks, right? Question then becomes why a stack? Well, it is because when I see something, I'm going to check, have I seen your corresponding one before? If so, I remove you. And a stack is best for that. If you don't have a stack, it's fine, right? But what I'm trying to say is this: when you go through every problem on Leet Code or whatever platform you go to, you should just keep in mind some 3 sentences that describe the algorithm so well. That is the whole thing. You should be able to summarize the algorithm in a way that when I tell you that summary, you can then craft up the solution. That is how we learn these things, right? They are called patterns. So number 1, be able to summarize, the algorithm in a way that, when I tell you that same summary, you can then cook up the code, number 1. Number 2, after having that summary of the algorithm, look at sometimes some of the questions come across, that these very next, these very picky portions, right? For instance, I think there's a very popular question where there's a very tiny, next portion. Okay, let's use binary search. I think this one algorithm I've been really pushing down on people for like the past 1 year. And there are 2 very popular implementations of binary search. And it's very easy. It's very easy for you to, sometimes I write C++, sometimes I write Python. I'm just confused. But let me show you something. Binary search is one of those questions where it's very easy to confuse you. Let me show you what the confusion is. There are 2 ways people solve binary search. One way is that for the right pointer, some people initialize it on nums of size. In other words, the length of the array. But if you do that, you have to change this condition to be less, right? So you can either do this one, or you do a -1 here. If you do the out to be -1 here, then this one has to be less than or equal to. Now, some people don't know this. Now you see them mixing it up. That is, they do a -1 here, then they just do a less than here, or they do a less than or equal to here, then they remove the -1 here. This will make it wrong, right? So these are the next portions I'm talking about. So number 1, you summarize the concept. Okay, I'm going to use binary search. The binary search, what I do is that I always find a middle portion. Then if that value there is bigger than what I look for, I move here. If it says I move here, that's the summary portion. But then the number two thing you also keep in mind in solving problems is, but well, is there any other net portion, right? Is there another portion that is like part of the code that can make or break me? Example is this thing. Doesn't make sense to everyone. That's what I'm saying, making sense. They're the two things you look out for when you're solving these problems. One of them is the general summary. The other one is like the nitty portions of the code, right? Like if I do it -1, this has to be less than or equal to, or those things like that. So what I advise people to do is that when I teach, I'll be like, just do it -1 here and be like this. And there's a reason I'll explain that when we do binary search. It's actually part of our topics. So whenever you solve a question or you go to a solution, watch the video, number one, try to summarize the code to yourself. That same summary is what, if you were in an interviewer gave you that summary as a hint, you could build the code with that. Number two, look at the key portions of the code, those parts that can make or break you, right? Then number three is, please, whenever you solve a question, come across a solution, please learn it. Learn the portions. You never knew this is how you find in Python. Let's go to a Python implementation because we're going to use Python. Look, if you're solving a question, right, and you don't know, like, this is how you find the length of an array, and you saw some code and you've written length of nums, please learn this function, learn the length. Whenever you're solving this question, see it as learn. Don't just see it as I'm doing questions and answers. That is why I tell them to spend 15 minutes trying to come up with a solution. It is a learning thing. You actually learn like you learn a textbook. So if you see them use learn, you see them use something like append. If you come across and they are like, oh, this is called a tuple, and they show you how we create a tuple, like 4, 3, like, please learn it. Learn it like you're literally learning a book. Don't be like, oh, this, let me skip. And an interview, look, some interviewers will tell you, I don't care if you look up documentation and all, but come on. You're like, I have to add something to the list. Well, how do I even add to a list? Okay, I think it's then go like, can I open a new tab to check it? Be like, yeah, go ahead. Maybe like, we open now Bing, not Google. Be like, how do I append to a list? Like, no, you're literally decreasing your points, right? So please, whenever you go through a question, make time, somebody's good solution, make time to look at the language syntaxes they're using. Sometimes, here we do like less comprehension, like for I for I in range, let's say 10, right? Let's say you're initializing a list of size, of size 10 with, let's say, from 0 to 9. So be like, maybe my list which is now equal to this. You see someone writing this code, be like, what is this code doing? Try to study it, right? Please, it matters. It makes you a better programmer, right? And this also, when you go to industry and see code people have written, it's going to make you a much better person. So 3 things when you are practicing. Number 1, whenever you see the solution, try to, after you've watched the video and seen the solution, try to be like, okay, what was this thing about? Okay, I was going to put it in bananas. There's a binary search thing. I don't think I did this. Okay, that is the summary thing. Would be good. But were there any other portions of the code which were like really tricky? Okay, this is how you initialize the pointers. Like whenever I'm adding something to the hash map, this is how I check it. Okay, then you go to the other thing. Were there any cool, language syntax or things I saw in the programming language? Oh yes, I saw default dict. I saw counter. I saw default dict. I saw counter. I bet, trust me, counter will save you so much time. Those of you who use counters now. And it's a coding interview, right? 15 minutes. Counter is going to save you much time than someone who's going to write, now put everything addition, I'm going to use a loop and all those things. But if you just did a counter of nums, they've written those 7 lines of code you want to write in just 1 line of code. They'll beat you, right? They'll beat you to time. And I said it's very competitive. Companies may start doing stack ranking. Stack ranking means that all 5 of you were able to solve it, but then they have to consider who solved it first, who wrote nicer code, who did this, and that may end up filtering you out. So please learn good programming, right? Learn things very well. So those are the 3 things I want you to keep in mind as you practice. Watch the solution well, take care, what do you call it? Like, take it seriously. Sometimes when I code, I was doing practice yesterday or 3 days ago. What question did I even solve? I invested, actually, I think I was doing 150. Let me show you. So I think I did, what code did I do yesterday? Wait, have I signed in? Oh, I've not signed in. Okay. I think I probably been very well. I was doing some practice, and I did some of these ones like a long time ago. So what I did was, when I started solving the question, I'll write the hints or the summary I have for this solution in my head, right? I'll write it, or I actually wrote it here. I think I've removed it. So I'll write that summary there, and then I'll just, I just build my code of that summary. I'll let you show you one. I think I removed it because it's been a long time I solved this again. So like, see how I struggle. Let's see if I can get it. Yeah, I wanted to show you, but like I'll be like okay, so let's say sliding window, maximum. So I write like some comments here. Okay, I'll be like, okay, I'll be like maybe track maxes with maybe, with a deck, like something like this, right? Like the main thing when I solve this question, the main thing I put in my mind is this: I need to keep some of the maxes. I'm going to use a deck for that, and so on and so forth. So just keep that in mind. So that's the thing about the practicing. When the practicing, you could put those three things in mind. Yes. Any questions? Before I go to the next thing about practicing. Okay. Next thing I want to talk about practicing is also this. Please keep these things in mind. Don't forget them. Next thing about practicing also is when you're practicing, if you look at my timeline, you don't just do one question and you're like, I'm done. It's in my head. I will never forget. Never do that. It is something that is killing a lot of people. Whenever you practice, please revisit the practice. If you look at even me, my timeline, right? Like, look, this is an easy question. Everybody can solve it. Many people can solve it here. Valid anagram. When did I first solve this question? February 27, 2022. I solved it again April. I solved it June 2023. Like, I literally solved it. Like, it's like you have to revisit these things. When I solved it here, when I came to visit it in June 11, I just tried to, be like, I've learned this thing before. Let me go quickly, right? Look at the cool solutions I'm writing here. Good. So please revisit the questions you solve. One thing I usually do, if people remember, is we're like, okay, this week we are solving, let's say, these 8 questions. So let's say Monday to Thursday, that's all you did. You solve those 8 questions. Friday, Saturday, go ahead, because you realize the first, for Monday to Thursday when you solved it, was more about you learning it, right? Like you were learning, watching these videos, we were checking people's code, right? You go to like solutions. When you go to solutions, always sort. I like to sort by most votes. Then I'll look at, maybe I'll check the Python, and I'll look at the Python solutions, right? Maybe the first time you solved it, that's what you did, right? You watch people's solution, you read the explanation, and you did it. So, but on Friday, Saturday, I go to challenge myself. I'm like, hey, should I not going to look at anyone's code? I'm going to solve this thing on my own, right? So please revise what you do. Like revise them. Almost all the kind of stuff I revise. It's like, because else you forget. You go to an interview, you see an OA, and then you see the question, like, I think I've come across and I'm going like this, but I don't remember because you have forgotten. Because you did this thing like 4 months ago, you don't even remember anymore. Please do not do that. If I have an interview like next week, I don't go solve every lead code question. No. Instead, what I do is this. Let me show you. I think I've shown you this before. I have a list. So let me show you my list. So when I solve a question, right? When I go through some questions are very tricky, right? You solve some question like, I have to visit this question, right? What you do, it allows you to create a list. So I created a list like set 0, set 1, set 2, set 3. So when I have an interview with some company, what I do is that I come to my list. I'm like, okay, let's go to maybe set 6 or maybe set 1. So this is basically what I do. So if you solve some question which is tricky for you, like I think I have to revisit this thing end of this week. Just create a list and just add it to it, right? To add it to a list, just they see the starting here, February. Can we like create a new list and add it to it, right? So like I'll be like, okay, these are very interesting questions, gas station, everything, and just come and revise them. Please always revise the questions you solve. If you think, give yourself a week, or at the end of 2 weeks, or you'll be like, okay, I'm going to revisit all the arrays and 2 pointers and start naming the questions. Sit down. This time, don't look at the solution. Try to code it out again on your own. If you get stuck, you'll be like, oh, when I learned this, I didn't learn this thing well. And then you can revisit it. Does that make sense to everyone? Does this practice make sense to everyone? Does it make sense?
Yeah.
It's very important. It's super important. It's amazingly important. Revising question solving is very important. And this is also another thing we want to see, solving lead code and all these programming questions. Now, one thing is I said, don't see that just questions and answers, see it as learning. Number 2 thing is this: you likely not see the same question on, let's say, an online assessment, on an interview. But here's the thing: these things are, some of them actually are acting as like building blocks that you can put together to ace these online assessments. For example, because I've done a lot of OAs and interviews and stuff. Sometimes I've seen real lead code. I've been in interviews where they've given me like literally lead code questions, like B2D2. I've been in a Goldman Sachs interview where, like, some interviews where they literally like copy the question from lead code and just paste it there. I'm like, I see the lead code block and everything. I've been there before. I just find, I'm like, are you sure we should do this? Some of them, I saw the question like 2 days ago, or like the night before. It's like, yeah, God is good. Pop, and I'm done, right? Sometimes you get that, hooray. I know people have got that before, right? Like many people have got that before. Sometimes you don't. But here's the cool thing: if you have done a lot of practice or good practice here, you get the built-in, the foundational knowledge to solve those questions. And that is so true, right? If you have done a lot of tree questions, one of the questions I got from one of the companies about, it was printing a tree on a graph. It's like, I done good tree practice with recursion and all. It was very easy to come up with a solution because I know how to traverse a tree, I know how to find the depth of a tree, I know how to do BFS, DFS, and all those things on the tree, right? So it's like, when I learn this and see that as, hey, at time may come, I may need this thing as a tool, right? I may need it as a screwdriver or as a screw to put together to make things work, right? So have that thing in mind, right? When I'm learning it, that's why I'm like, learn the parts of the solution. This is how we search for something in the dictionary. This is how we do this. Oh, this was the reason why we had this part of the code. This was the reason why. As you push those things into your mind, if you come across a question that requires such a logic, you're able to easily pull it out of your box. So that's literally how it works. So I'm not a fan of, like, I know people are against lead code and some of these things, but I'm like, yeah, but then, it's kind of like the best we have out here, right? And hey, that's the system now. Don't go out there on LinkedIn and be fighting lead code. Like, that is the system that you can't change it, right? And in a way, it's not the fairest system out there. If they cancel some of these standardized coding interviews, the next one, you may not be ready for it, right? They'll bring some brain questions you can't even solve, right? So please, when I learn it, learn it well is the conclusion. Learn it super well. So that's that about practice. Let's go back to our roadmap. So I'll show you the book soon. So there's Lico, there's also YouTube, and a couple of other which I'll show you soon. System design, when we get there, we'll show you our system design resources. One of them is this, Working the System Design Interview. I think I've shared the book here before. And Design the Thing, this is a much bigger book. I'm even still reading this book. Design the Thing Intensive House by Kleppman, Martin Kleppman. I'm still reading this book. We have a couple of people who are helping us manage this one, so on and so forth. But hey, any message, just send it to the messages channel, the messages and receipt. So this is when you go ahead again, there's also a roadmap, which it's still in progress. We are doing this. We will be done very soon, trust me. We are still putting things together. There's actually a team right now who is even working on getting as links and everything, as you can see. People are actually actively, we hope to get everything done by next week. And then we will, but what we're doing right now is this. For every topic we do, for most of the topics, we are going to have resources you can use. So for instance, you don't need to go find your own resources or anything alone. So like for instance, if you want to do, let's say stacks, let's say like I want to do stacks today. One thing is we're going to put the recordings from our previous years also here, which are amazing. Trust me, like go through them. I have people who are working for some other places. They're like, hey, we watch the recursion video, and they're like, our recordings usually really help. But the thing is this: our recordings in the past 1 or 2 years were not like we just hop on the economy with length and everything. Some of the topics are like it's like, for instance, this recording is like for stacks, decks, and queues, right? This one is we did 2D lists, then we just jump to graphs, right? So it's like kind of like meshed together. So for some of them, I'll add a timestamp here, like maybe 2D list is from the start of the video to the 19th minute, right? So for instance, if you open it, you see like that is how it is, right? Let me show you. Like they're not, they're not like very separated like that, right? So those of you who use our past recordings, just one thing you should note of. Sometimes we combine many topics in one video, right? Which is also amazing, right? It will force you to go on in. But yeah, so this recording tab is for our past recordings. We have a recording on 2 pointers, a very excellent video you should watch. Stacks, queues, and decks, and all those things here. This year, okay, I'll touch on the format this year very soon, but follow me carefully. Then, so we have the past recordings. The next one is the textbook chapters. I thought we were using a textbook, right? Common Sense Guide to DSA. Sam is working on this right now. So basically, for every chapter we have here, for every topic here, we're gonna have the chapter for the related chapter, right? So if you take, let's say this, for instance, the linear and binary search, you're gonna have the chapter here. So copy link. Let me show you what that looks like. So if you just click on the link, it's going to lead you to the book chapter. Or now it's all on a Google Drive. You can download, you can print it anyhow you think will make it work faster for you. Sorry, I copied it. I copied the link wrongly. Give me a second. Let me just copy it. But once you click it, it's going to just let me move it here. Okay, it's going to just bring you to this. And I read this book. When I started learning, like I basically read it. What am I doing? Hey, I'm sorry. Okay, so this is the book chapter, and it's like this, right? Just like this. So you can read the book by algorithm, like it's like, so you're gonna have it for the various, things. If you can read the book, fine. I'll say if you have time, like if you're home or something, please read the book. Good foundation. But again, then I actually talk of one of the things in the book, we actually end up teaching it actually. But if you have good attention, it's fine. You can read through the book, please read it. So it's a good book. It's easy to read, trust me. It's fast, right? Like you learn a lot. Look, it's very, very few pages, just 14. It's like, and it's code and everything. And everything is in Python, right? Like exactly, okay, good. You see how he also wrote his binary search? He used the less than or equal to or minus one. That's what I advise you use. The other one is there, but I prefer use this one. And you explain the parts of the code, excellent. You explain analyze the time and space complexity for you and all. Okay, so that's the next tab, the textbook chapter. The next one is the resources. This is one of the amazing things we think everybody should take advantage of. As I said, what we're going to do this year is this. We're not going to entirely teach the topics from scratch because we don't have time. Instead, we have these resources you're going to use. When we say we're doing stacks this week, when it comes to the resources for, let's say, stacks, right? We think your status maybe be like maybe next or in progress or something. Be like in progress or like next. That's like what we're going to do next. We have the resources. We have where is the resources like here? And then we have videos like our people have helped create videos, like maybe 2 videos, maybe, and then maybe an article on Big for Views. Just go through these materials. They don't take even an hour, like 30 minutes. Just absorb these content. After you've absorbed these content, they give you a good foundation. When we meet on our workshop, we're just going to touch on a very, some of the crucial parts and everything that you should know. And then after that, you should be a strong, mighty man in stacks, LQs, or whatever topic we do. The next thing then becomes just go and do our practice questions. So always consume these resources. Come to the workshop. We touch on a couple of other things. You apply some of the data structures to actual questions, actual problems. Like when you use this data structure, how do you analyze the time and space complexity? Or even any question you have as you learned it, right? Bring it to the meeting. We will analyze and process all those things. And then we'll show you the practice problems for the week. So it will be like maybe needs code 150. We'll be like maybe needs code 150, maybe stats problem, right? Maybe we just be like, I like writing a thing for first. Like stats, needs code 150, right? So that's like, you're like, this week, you're just, doing this one, right? Let me just do that. The resources here are very important. Please consume them. It's just like maybe 2 videos, 2 readings, or, something like that. Just finish them, right? So, if you don't read the book, the textbook, fine. I say read it. If you don't read it, fine. Just consume these resources we have here. We give you the foundational knowledge. When we come for the workshop, we're going to add, because we are such going through this, we're going to add extra things, how you apply it to late school questions, how you apply it to coding interviews, and those good stuff. Then watch the recording as a supplement. If you may, then do the practice problem. So that's basically how we're going to move this year. I'm not coming to teach you everything entirely from scratch. No, we have these resources here to help you do that. Like, we only have 3 months to make you a superstar. Okay, what we're going to do for all these ones, as I said, we have a couple of people also helping put the things together. They're also helping them find the resources. Like this, we're still populating them and so on and so forth. Let's look sharp. And yeah, so that's the roadmap for this year. We should have everything completed by God next Wednesday, and we'll arrange everything. So what you're going to do, for instance, this is going to be like we've not decided everything is going to be first yet. It's more likely going to be this or this or this or that, but it's before on Wednesday when we have everything arranged, and then we are going to just start a day in a workshop. We can combine like 2 topics and just kill them together. So this would be like we'll probably combine like stacks, queues, and decks, because we'll tell you ahead of time. So expect you to have consumed the materials. So when we come, because we don't have time, right? Because in a month, we want to go through as many of these as possible. Like by end of June, I'm hoping we get to graphs, right? And those of you who know, who've been with us, we told you like last year, like graphs are kind of like the most easy data structures you can come across. When you learn trees and recursion, graphs are like kind of the easiest. It's like almost like the same algorithm we use for everything, right? And I know some of you go to a place where it starts with your favorite data structure, hoping you get them in an interview. So that's what we're going to do. We are still fleshing this roadmap page up. We should be done like super soon, very, very soon. Any questions so far? We're almost done. Any questions? Any questions? Any questions? Anybody has any questions? No questions. Okay. So it's intentional that this year we have toned down on resumes for now, because we want to, but people on average have very good resumes right now. And one thing we also realized about the last year, the main place that people got issues with was the what do you call it? Was the OA and interview portions. So that's what we want to focus. Starts in June with a technical portion. In July, I guess we will have a meeting on resume building projects and all those things. That is fine. Do that, right? And we have added a workflow that each time we update, like if we're in progress for this, you get a notification in the channel, be like, this year we are doing this. The moment you see this, be like, okay, game on, and go like start it, right? You always see the updates. So please be checking this Slack channel a lot. Feel comfortable with Slack, I beg you. Sake of this summer, please be good with Slack, right? Check your message, check this channel every single day. I'm working full time. I do like 20 million other jobs. I still make time to do this, right? So please commit to it, right? Absolutely commit to it. It's going to be very useful for that. The last thing I also want to say, on this thing is, please, whenever you're practicing, please join us. If somebody is practicing like some evening, please you're practicing like doing little anything, even if it's for 20 minutes, just start this huddle, right? Just open this channel and just call, right? So that if people want to join practice, they'll come and join with you, and if you join a call like this, right? If you join a call, like for instance, this call is joined, like feel free to, have a conversation in the chat to the call, right? And be like, this question, be sweet to, that's pigeon, right? This question, be sweet to, something like that, right? So that when we join, it'll be like next question, right? So that when we join, we'll be able to follow you and everything. I need to do this thing as a community and as a family, right? So feel free to, to start a huddle, I'll try to join whenever I can, honestly. because it's cool sometimes doing problems with people, right? So definitely do that and God will help us out. The last thing also I want to say before we end, the last thing I'm saying is this: we care about technical experience. If you've watched our recordings from years ago and everything, you know that we really care about technical experience. I mean, like relevant experience, like work experience, right? Whenever you have work experience on your resume, getting interviews is usually a lot easier, right? So if you don't have an internship doing this summer and all, we tell you that there are many ways you can kill the cat. If you're in the US, reach out to some, some Ghana company or some company in Nigeria or anything. Like just get a relevant experience on your resume, right? Paid or unpaid, we don't care. Just get something doing. When you have a software engineering intern on your resume, it boosts your points by a lot. Trust me. Good experience boosts your thing by a lot, right? So please, if you have nothing, missing some of these, even in the US, right? Maybe your friend is working on a project or something, join something, do something, right? Once it's on your resume, because recruiters like to contact you if they know you have some past experience, right? So it's going to boost your thing by a lot, right? So please go in for that if you may. If you have nothing, those of you are doing internship this summer or working this summer, please don't be lazy, because the market is really tricky now. You don't know anything about return offers or something, so still keep your skills sharp. I'm not throwing any threats or dread thing or whatever. I'm just saying it's good to keep your skills sharp. Me, every time I did an internship, when I did a Facebook and all these things, over the time I was still practicing keeping my skills sharp, right? Because you never know. You never know, right? So still keep your skills sharp. Or maybe you even want to change your company the next year, right? So still keep your skills sharp, and don't be rusty. But yeah. Any questions? Any questions? I'm just probably the meeting, this is the main topics for today. We start the first topic, God willing, next week. We always send updates ahead of time. Please join the meeting early. Come, let's do pop. Please try to be up, try to stay on top of the game. If you're like this week, we are doing these 5 questions on binary search. Like kill them everything like perfectly. Like it's like you see, we don't have a lot of time this week to do. Last year we used to do like we come on Saturday, we set a timer, and then we're going to do questions. So like I'll come with like some questions, and then we set a timer, then we all do it like 10 minutes, it's coding out there after we check. That was really fun last year. But this year we may do it later, but right now I just want us to, but learn it well, right? When we do the coding rooms on Slack Huddle, we can do that, with the team, with the group you're in. But other than that, please learn it well, learn fast. If you need help, feel free to message us and everything. Again, those outside the US, please keep up. Like it's amazing. Like I said, the hustle pays off, right? Like I think you probably have a workshop where I think those who moved from Ghana, Nigeria to the UK, to Europe, and those also working in Ghana, like Google Ghana and everything, I think it would be good for us to have a workshop with them. So also tell you how things work for them. So I think last year was a really good year, honestly. Last recruiting cycle. We had like 3 or so new guys from Africa, and like a couple. I think it would be good for you to also speak with them because also their perception. Interns too, right? Intern people went like intern like Hacker and all those people. They're going to Bloomberg and all these places like Bank of America and everything. And some of what returning offers, Baba is back to UK, And so it's doable, it's feasible, right? So again, just keep it, right? Let's keep it up. And it's not like we have a better option. This is the only way we know to help. So please take it seriously and let's do our best. Any questions? I'm actually done. Any questions? Any questions?
So is the link for the resources, is it available right now on the Slack? Or we have to wait?
Please, the link for what? I didn't get you.
The link for the resources.
Oh yeah. So yeah, when you go to the Slack, let me show my screen again. When you go to the Slack, we should fully get everything updated. Like I think by next week Wednesday or Friday. The volunteers are still putting things together. They're still doing their, because they have to vet whatever they're giving us is good, right? So they are still, but we have a good chunk done soon. But yeah, when you go to
can we see it?
Yeah, you can see everything. Like when you come, can you see the table? Are you supposed to be able to?
I can see it.
Right, when you open your Slack, just on your phone or laptop, just if it's on a phone, just click where the name is written, the name of the channel is written, and you see the tabs. Just click roadmap, and then it will appear as a page. Then you can go to the resources, then you click just the resource to expand. Then like the resources are there, right? Just consume them. If you want to read the textbook too, like chapter 3, just click. It's a link. Everything's a link. If you click, it take you to the right place, the video. Like so everything is available to you. We don't want you to now go search for your own resources and stuff. It's like we have everything here for you, right? Just your only responsibility is to learn. That's the only responsibility, right? And yeah, please, again, we'll be doing coding this year. If you saw a question which is interesting, please send it here. Be like, this question is frying my brain. Like, or can somebody help me with this? Like, I want to see activity, right? Like, be active. Like Iman is already doing hard work and everything. It's like, like, start doing the work now, right? Like, be coding, be working hard. I've shown you how to go through lead code again. If you joined late, please watch the recording and go through the questions as we explained. It's the best way to go through, to be honest. It's going to help you. Okay. Any other questions?
I have a question. So,
Yeah, go for it.
what kind of resource do you suggest we use to see new internships and job
Oh, job
postings?
posting. Okay. So when recruiting actually started, we actually post jobs on our Slack workspace. We also send links to places you can see postings. So for example, we send links to GitHub pages. We actually have a recruiting channel. So we share links ourselves because we ourselves actually recruit. Sometimes I just spend hours sitting in my chair, just looking for job postings to just share. Like we share in recruiting is kind of down now because and actually we have an actual postings channel. We have for interns and for let me explain this again. We have opportunities, new grad, and internships, right? We share them here too. And we share links to other people's compilation, right? Like GitHub pages, like Discord, yeah. So we share others, when people find, usually like anytime so hotspot, if you find, you post here, right? If somebody else finds, the post, right? And we also share like actual, this year actually we'll put the links here, like the GitHub pages by like University of Pittsburgh and Discord and everything. So yeah, so we share here and everything, right? We made it available here. This was the process for last year. This was last year's process. Like, like just people stop questioning, so this was for last year. We did a speed track for the summer, but this year we're using the technical 2025 channel for this year's. Yeah. So we share stuff because we don't want the only job to be to learn, right? And to just, yeah. Any other questions? So please, like our roadmap this year is to take you from 0 to hero. Basically, it's like what if you already started programming or not? We are guaranteeing you that in 3 months you're going to be so good at this. It's like so. Look, even if you have like no other, like you don't need anything extra. That's what I'm trying to tell you. If you follow our roadmap here and everything, you are going to be fine. Like trust me, you really will be. Stay on top of the game. Whatever you already have good coding experience, like. And I know, like, I've met some of the people. It's like you come in knowing everything. Almost every meeting we have, you learn something new. Because some of us are still working, right? Some of us are still doing stuff. I still learn. I read books. I still write code and everything. And trust me, like, some of us have been through a good process by God's grace, and like we have a lot of exposure and a lot of experience. And I have time to show you. And some of us have dealt with a lot of companies, right? Like whatever company you want to get into, I believe there are people who have interviewed with them, got offers from them. Some of us, by God's grace, when we're even in school or after recruiting. Sometimes we even have offers, but because of Tech Elevate, we still continue applying to jobs and recruiting just so we know how the process looks like. That days me, I've got an offer, I'm going to this company, but I still continue recruiting just to see how the process looks like so that when people need help, we can help them with, right? So, like, it's game on, right? Like, advise yourself, push yourself, and I think we should be good. But I guess when we start recruiting, life is going to be easier, right? Life is going to be much, much, much easier. Okay, my eyes are beginning to get blurry because of old age and my screens. Any questions? Oh, how can you people join? I think we have a, you can just send them the link. There's a copy invite link. I'm sending it to random right now. If you just want someone to join, you can just send the link to them and they'll see. Okay. Oh yeah. Oh, to be a volunteer. Yeah. So yeah, we actually sent a volunteer application form. We are not done reviewing them. We've reviewed some. And some too, we just need them from passing it. We just added them to them. So, hey, when you volunteer, just shoot me a message. And yeah. Okay. I'm done. That's all I had. Please, again, no matter what you're doing, please sacrifice. Even if you're interning, just sacrifice some 2 hours, 2-3 hours every week to be on track with us. It would be sad to get your coding rusty, right? And yeah. Okay. Let's meet. Someone says, "Will Cosmos DB migrate to Rust?" Oh, we actually have Rust packages. The engine I work on, this is outside. People can start the recording now. We are basically done with the meeting. But yeah, but I have Cosmos DB parts that uses Rust, like one of our gateways. Gateway actually is built in Rust. But there are not many good Rust programmers, so we don't. I'm just replying somebody's message they sent me. So yeah. But hey, I'm excited and I'm game for this year, and I hope everybody is also. So God bless you all for coming. Every week we'll give notice ahead of time. The topics we'll be doing, you want to consume them before you come, so that you don't come empty-headed. Yeah, God bless you all, and we will see you later. We will post the recording to this meeting also. Hopefully the people record it, but I can record. Hopefully the people record. So we post them and then people can go through. So what we learned tonight, we will share the topic for next week. Do well to go through them before we meet again, God willing, Saturday. And yeah, all right. I'm studying computer science and engineering. What languages? I'll say I'm going to pick up Python. If you didn't want to start programming in Python, just pick up Python. See, Python is so much easier. You can still be on the call if you want to, but let me show you why I say you should pick Python. Let me show everyone. Like, I'm going to show you why I say pick Python. You can still be on the call. If you're recording, please keep recording. I think this part is good to be in the recording. See why I say you should pick Python. Like, Python, so as I said, if you're in a coding interview, right? Like, we don't care. If it's 20 minutes, it's 20 minutes for everyone, right? Python, one, it's faster to code. Like, let me show you. I write code in Python sometimes C++ because I'm very bored. And let's pick this valid anagram. I'm going to show you different implementations of this same code, right? In different languages. So, okay, so this is my C++ solution, right? And so for C++, this is what I wrote. Also, I'm not the most expert. Maybe you can write it faster, sure. But this was the C++ solution, right? It's like I first created my map, then I counted everything in, then I subtracted, and I was like, okay, this is C++. When I'm creating a dictionary in C++, I'll write the type of the dictionary here, unordered map and everything, like in the same 20 minutes too. Now, if I switch to Python to write this code, it's like, look, I can literally just use counter. And it's the same solution, the same offer. Okay, let's say interviewer is like, don't use counter, you're cheating. I'm like, okay, interviewer, I hear you. Sorry, at least I didn't hear him. I didn't hear him. Hey, I'm sorry. Let me go look for. Okay, right? Okay, I was a very bad programmer these days. Don't judge me. This is when I started. Do not judge me again. I'm saying, look, if I'm defining dictionary in Python, a hash map, I just write hash map is equal to this. You saw what I had to write for C++. I have to write on it. I have to type all these things in that same 20 minutes, right? Time will go, right? That is number one. Like, you'll be beating by time, but Python is so straightforward, right? Like, you can write the same code in very few lines, right? The speed is going, like, please, it just is, and that's number one. Number two, Python has a lot of familiar, modules and things you can use, like counter, like default state, like there's so many things, right? Like, you can just, like, there's so many things which are provided to you free of charge in Python that you can use, right? Like, you don't write everything from scratch. It's like valid anagram. You can just be like you can use default state. You can default, like, if you use counter, like counter of S is the same as in C++. I'll be like, let's say I have a map. Let's say this is my, I don't even want to type on other map. Like, I'm so lazy. Like, it'd be like, let's just use auto. Then I'll be like, maybe what, count. Then I'll be like I'm not going to have to create this, like this and this, blah, 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 blah. And then now, okay, or I'm going to be like, for, now come and do for this in this. Then I'll be like, now let me put this in my map, like plus equals 1. Like, this thing, Python, I just did it in Python in just one line of code, right? Maybe it's saying Python. Write the code faster, number one. Number two, there's so many free things available you can easily use, and it's the same amount of time, right? So for coding interviews, we highly advise Python. And if you don't know Python, it's easy to pick up. Just pick up, please. Just pick up and let's go, right? So sure, no C++. At my job, at Microsoft, I write C. I didn't write Python. I don't know when last time I wrote Python on the job. I write C. But for coding interviews sake, I still get my Python sharpened, right? So please, Python all the way. Unless you are so good at Java or some other language, sure. If you can convert all the code to the other languages, sure. But most of our workshops, they want to teach it in Python. Our test is also in Python. There's another language version, but I highly advise Python once again. Okay. I hope you're convinced. Yeah. Okay. God bless you all, and I will see you when I see you. Please be checking the Slack Technical 2025 channel often, because we're posting updates there. Feel free to send messages there too. It's a channel, so feel free. All right. Catch you guys later. Bye.